3, which I'm going to call his Spaceball. I don't know. Hey, what's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here doing another Thor the Dark World 3/3 quarter-inch figure review on the Lightning Bolt Hammer Thor figure. This review is brought to you by MarvelousNews.com. Check them out for all the latest Marvel-related news. And I gotta give a big thanks to my friend Mr. Phils for making sure I got a hold of this guy. Pretty damn cool figure. I think it's my favorite one out of the 4 that I've picked up. So very, very cool. Let's take a look at the packaging. Let's take a closer look at this figure. This is the first time I've owned a figure that had this hammer. I think I've seen it before. Either the Thor movie or Avengers movie figures had this, but I think this is really cool. I love this translucent blue plastic that they have over here, and it's painted white coming towards the end of these lightning bolts. I think it's very, very cool. I like it a lot. Kind of reminds me of the Cube. The handle is all painted black over here, which I think is a bit inaccurate, and it fits in his hands okay. Like this hand right here, it barely fits in his right hand, and it kind of wobbles around, so you can get it to hold there. I tried to put it in his left hand, and the fingers snapped apart, so that is a tough squeeze right there, you know, tough squeezing the hammer in the hand. I dig the head sculpt of this. I'm glad that they have one with a helmet right here. I think the helmet looks pretty cool. I wish it was a shinier silver or something like that. It's kind of a little bit of a metallic kind of gray. Helmet does look a little on the big side. Like this one right here, this is an older figure. This one, you know, the ears are just way too long, I think, but I do like the silvery paint on this a lot more than on this guy over here. This is a much smaller figure, by the way. I like the gold paint applications we have on those discs over here, and pretty much a lot of this figure is the same sculpt as the Battle Hammer Thor figure. As you can see, the torso is very similar. The legs are pretty much the same. They did have these arms over here, which I'm not a big fan of. Actually, on both of these figures, it looks like he has taco biceps, and this is a new term I'm using because I feel like the biceps look like tacos, you know? It's just weird, and when you bend the figure, it's just a weird look. Biceps don't look like that. That looks very flat, and I don't know. It's just a weird sculpt for the bicep. Same thing on this figure too. These weird taco biceps. But other than that, you know, I like the paint detail, and the sculpted detail even on the forearms is pretty nice. I like the gold applications. The red looks good. A lot of nice paint apps on this figure. I like it overall. I think it's pretty dope. But yeah, nice clean paint apps. I dig it. Again, same problem as the Battle Hammer Thor where the feet are kind of sticking up a little bit. I don't like that. I wish it was just more flat-footed, and it kind of makes it a little trickier to stand, but the cape does make him easier to stand. So overall, it's not too hard for the figure to stand, and he has peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Really like how the cape is sculpted. Looks very nice, and it is not removable, by the way, but that looks pretty damn realistic. I like that. Nice drapes. The cape definitely has a much cooler look than this older figure over here. So as far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball peg, and there's not a whole lot of movement. You can't really move it up and down too much, just like that. That's all you get. You can move it side to side pretty well, so that's pretty cool. His arms move outward that much, and they move forward that much. It's tough to get him to lift his arm up all the way. I wish his shoulder pads were a little bit of a pliable material, but it's a very tough plastic, as you can hear me tapping on it right there. He does have a swivel at the elbow, plus he bends at the elbow. Again, bicep tacos kind of pissing me off a little bit. He has rotation at the wrists, which is good. He has no torso articulation. Again, oh, that's so frustrating. Very, very frustrating. His legs do move all the way outward. He has legs that move forward. You can get the upper thigh to rotate. He has double jointed knees, which is good. His ankles move down. They move up, and he has a beautiful ankle pivot. I like that a lot. One thing I got to mention, I really like how the figure can stand on his own without leaning on the cape. Very, very cool, and I have to say that's mostly thanks to the ankle pivot. And the figure's the figure stands at about 4.5 inches tall, pretty good height. And here he is next to the Hall of Armor Mark 6 Iron Man figure. So I don't know, I think their scale is pretty okay. And here he is next to the first Thor movie figure, the Hammer Smash Thor. So I do like how this is a bit taller. I really appreciate that. I always felt this figure was a little too short. And here he is compared to the Marvel Universe modern Thor figure. They stand about the same height. Modern Thor looks a little bigger. And here he is compared to the new Marvel Universe Captain America. And here's Thor compared to all the figures from the wave. We have Loki, Battle Hammer Thor, and Curse, all of which I've reviewed. So yeah, a pretty decent set. Like I said, I really like the paint sculpts on all of these figures. The articulation is to be desired, especially without a torso joint. And I know damn well that it is super cheap to just add a waist joint in there. I had asked Dwight before, how expensive is it to add a waist joint to these things? And he said it's not expensive at all. So why don't we have waist joints? Okay, I'm not going to make a rant video about this. Anyway, that's my review, guys. I hope you dig it, and I'll catch you later. Peace.
That's crispy.
I dig the head.